Hello again. It's that time of the week. A little bit of Dallas Cowboys Overtime here on StarTelegram.com, sponsored by our good friends at Window Nation. I am the Mavericks homer. Fort Worth Star-Telegram columnist Mac King, joined by my good friend, who is even a bigger Mavericks homer, Mr. Clarence E. Hill Jr. Yep. Before we get into this topic, it was you last week here that said Mavs in 6 or 7. I said Celtics in 6, and it turns out we're both wrong. Last night in Game 3 of these NBA Finals, our beloved Dallas Mavericks went out and decided to lay an egg, and now they are one game away from elimination. The Dallas Mavericks trail the Boston Celtics 3-0, and Game 4 is Friday night in Dallas. There has been nothing I have seen in this series so far that suggests the Mavericks can even come close to winning a game, let alone maybe even winning 2, and forget forcing a Game 7. Clarence, we both had ideas how this series was going to go, and I think it's clearly obvious to everybody involved who thought the Mavericks could win. We really underestimated the Boston Celtics.
Oh, there's no question about it. And really, I've watched basketball a lot, and I've watched the Celtics in the playoffs.
Turn your phone off. Good God.
I know. It's just
that's awful. It's just disrespectful.
And it's on the couch, so stop it.
That's awful.
But we watch the Celtics, and we thought, okay, every series they played in the playoffs, somebody was hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody's hurt. They got the easiest road to the finals. Somebody's hurt. In that, to me, the Pacers could have won at least 2 games in that series. Poor coaching cost them Game 1. Then they lost their best player. I think what the Mavericks went through, who they beat, how they beat them. Everybody's hot, these young teams. But good gosh, we definitely underestimated the Celtics. And let's be honest, the Celtics have been here. I think they've been in the conference final 6 of the last 8 years, something like that.
They've knocked on the door a lot. Jason Tatum.
They've knocked on the door a lot. It's funny because I was sitting next to Brian Scalabrine and Eddie House, and they were talking trash, and we were talking trash during the game because I didn't sit in our couch.
I noticed that you got a little.
They were near God. Okay, they was up near God. I said.
I did. I saw them. We high fived. We was like a fist bump right before
you high five with God. Yeah, they were too high for me, so I needed to move around. I couldn't be up there trying to get from all the way down the elevator and all that other stuff. So I sat actually in their seats, and they get out of my way. I said they got 4 seats. I sat in one of their seats. We were good, but no. You look in this series, and to me, on the court, no time on the court, or every time on the court, the Celtics had 5 of the best 7 players on the court
for sure,
at least. And it's probably more than that when Luka and Kyrie sat on the bench. It's and we're going to talk about Luka and we're going to talk about Kyrie, but the others, the standing on business, PJ Washington, Derek Jones, they have not showed up.
Well, and I think that's what leads me into this, though, which is, did we underestimate the Celtics roster? We knew We knew Jason Tatum was an all-star and an all-NBA player. We knew Jaylen Brown was in the discussion. He has wildly exceeded my whatever expectations I had for him. He's surpassed them tenfold. I mean, he has thrown down some demoralizing dunks against the Mavericks defense. So did we underestimate how good Boston's team and depth is, or did we completely just miss on the guys like Daniel Gafford, Derek Jones, Derek Lively, PJ Washington? Because they have been, Daniel Gafford has done nothing in this series. PJ Washington has not been a 17.8 a night game a player that he's been. The bench has just been. I can't recall ever seeing a significant series like this where a bench has been this completely non-existent the way the Mavericks have. And that's. Do you think you missed more on evaluating Boston's players or overestimating what Dallas really has?
I think we definitely overestimated the count of the Mavericks others. There's no from PJ to Lively to Gafford to Derek Jones. Maxi Kleber has been awful.
Oh, he's been terrible.
He's been awful. Tim Hardaway Jr. is like he has 0 points. He has 0 points in the series. 0 points.
And last night, Jason Kidd put him in the game because you could tell he's desperate. Like, he played 11 guys in the first quarter, first half, last night.
Right, he was trying to, yeah.
Anything. I was surprised he didn't call you in the game since you were closer to the floor than I was. And it just speaks to the level of desperation and gap.
If you thought Luke was a turnstile, they would win by me.
Oh,
it'd have been Ole.
Well,
Ole.
Let's get into it. So let's get into this. Our beloved best player in this town, Luka Doncic, a guy who was a finalist for the NBA's regular season award, a guy who won the MVP for the Western Conference playoffs, and by far and away as a top 3 player in the world, has become a national punchline in these playoffs. And the worst part about it is he has been the Mavericks' best player by a mile. Kyrie Irving did not play well in games 1 or game 2. He played very well in game 3. Meanwhile, Luka Doncic gets disqualified because of a sixth foul that he picked up with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter last night. A fourth quarter where he was called for 4 fouls. His defense has been atrocious. I mean, just awful. His effort and lackadaisical nature on some of the passes and some of the sequence has been not good. And he keeps whining with the refs. And he's the guy who fouled out last night. He's a great player. I'm not going to kill him as much as some of these other guys are, but he's an all-star. He's an MVP finalist. The bottom line is he's got to grow up from this series a lot.
Oh, no doubt. And again, he got obliterated. He's been obliterated. Windhorst just murdered him last night.
ESPN's Brian Windhorst. That's what Clarence is talking about.
They murdered him last night. And the thing about it is it's the effort. It's the whining. I mean, there was a time when he thought he got fouled. He laid on the court complaining to referees, and it's 4 on 5 the other way. Okay, it's 4 on 5 the other way. What are you doing? Get out there and help your teammates. He's been doing that, but it's the finals. Every possession matters. You're down 2-0. You don't want to go 0-3. Every possession matters, and you're whining, and you're whining, and you're whining, and it was too much last night for a desperate man. He was hurting it. He hurt his team, and during the regular season, I don't think he hurt his team, but he hurt his team yesterday, and that's what people. It was too much for everyone, and to get 4 fouls in the fourth quarter, the last 2 fouls, what are you doing? You got 5 fouls. Why are you putting yourself in position? And then you're yelling at the bench to review it. That's on you. You put yourself in position to this thing. You have to be smarter than that. You have to know the situation. And he was not smart at all. And this is my problem. And I'll go back. I was talking to somebody else the other day. I know we in the media. The media's changed. And listen, I love Tim Collins, so I'll go back to the Stars series. When he had to question the Stars.
Oh, that was the.
Let me finish. Yeah. He questioned the Stars' toughness of character in the championship series. Sometimes the other team is just better, because Stars have shown toughness throughout the playoffs. They were down 0-2. They came back. They fought back in the first series against Vegas. They've shown toughness. Now they get to the conference championships, and we're questioning the character. No,
No, I was there for that.
I understand that, but they didn't quit.
No. They didn't quit.
That's not it. But my overall point is Luka's been great throughout the playoffs. Okay, he's having a bad championship series. Let's not make this a referendum on him as a man, him as a player. Totally, he has to grow. But we get to the point where we get these moments and we forget everything you've done before, and this is who you are now. Now you're a loser. Windhorst saying, well, the winners over there, and this is the losers. And he's not a loser.
No, he's not a loser. He's having a bad series. And to your point, I want to clarify this. When Tim Cowshaw, a long time.
I love him.
Yep, he's great, and he did a great job covering that series. He's one of the few guys in town who can write hockey with some depth and analysis because he covered it as a beat writer, something that I did for a few years. And I was at that game 5 when Dallas came out against the Edmonton Oilers in the Western Conference Finals, and they had a very bad second period. And Tim's question to Pete DeBoer, the Stars head coach, after the game was benign and legitimate, which was, why did you think your team was so flat in the second period? That's what he asked.
Well, I know, but it comes across that they weren't giving effort. And again, they were flat, maybe because, as we saw, it didn't make a difference in game 6. They had this question. The other team is better.
Yeah, and I think, and even Coach DeBoer, the next team, came out because he got really testy with them.
No,
It
I
was
agree.
testy
I
because
saw
he
it. It was a
it was
viral
testy
moment.
because he was mad. I mean, he was mad. His team lost, and they were
Yeah.
the favorite, and he was slipping away, and he didn't have a good explanation. And I think that's the frustrating thing about this is that there is no good explanation.
Right.
The
It's just like the
explanation,
Cowboys against Green Bay. There's no legitimate explanation for how
well,
they played.
no, I think in that one, this one, Boston's just a lot better than everybody
No, I
else.
agree. But it
And
says
that
sometimes.
one, we just, and when we go back to Green Bay against Dallas in the playoffs, Clarence, it wasn't that they lost. It was the way they
I know, but
lost.
there's no.
Yeah,
Based
you're
on how
right.
they
There's
played
no
all
answer.
season, it's unconscionable they would come out and play that way. That's my point. You can't explain. You can't put it. I saw this. You can't because they had bad practices. You cannot. There's no understanding of why it happened. Certainly, the way they lost is what carries today. But why? Why did they play that way? Why did they not show up? Why does that keep happening? I don't think we can actually put a finger on that. You know.
No,
But,
I agree. And when it comes to this particular series, you
yeah.
and I both know why.
It's the best. Boston's better. There's
A
no
lot
question.
better.
Boston's better. We didn't, but even if Boston's better, the Mavericks shouldn't be swept. And they're on the verge of getting swept. And I don't know. Game 4. They're going to be desperate. Kyrie talked about going home and getting his bazookas and guns and his
I like that.
tools all out, and because you got to come out firing. But I don't know if they got enough weapons. They're bringing knife to a gunfight because Kyrie and Lucas, their two little guns ain't enough against
No,
the
and
heavy
you said
arsenal the Celtics are playing with.
well, and not only that, you and I talked about it last night at the arena. Everything the Mavericks are getting, which is all driven by Kyrie and Luka, and that's fine. That's their team. They've got two superstar players, and that's the NBA. But they are working like dogs to get those shots. There's nothing easy the Mavericks are getting. And a lot of their offense is predicated on easy looks set up by those other two guys. And Boston's taking everything away. Luka Doncic only had 6 assists last night. He had a game in this series where he only had 1 assist. The Mavericks had 38 field goals last night and only 15 assists.
Right,
Those
it's just
are
not them.
staggering
Because
numbers.
they're able to play one-on-one. They don't have to double. They're such good defenders. I did not know White and how good a defender he is. And you got White, terrific. you got Holiday, you got Jaylen Brown. They got the 3 best defenders in the series.
No, you said it. The Mavericks have the 2 best individual talents, maybe. No, they do. And the next 7 best players or 8 best players are on Boston. Okay, we got more to talk about. But first, a word from our friends at Window Nation.
Window Nation, the star of window replacement and proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys, can help you fill the house this season with savings. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and make no interest payments for 60 months, 5 full years. Fill your house for a customized authentic Dallas Cowboys jersey while supplies last. You could even help fill the Cowboys house and win tickets to a game. Visit windownation.com/Cowboys now for details. Call 866-95-NATION. Window Nation, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you very much, Window Nation. Back here on StarTelegram.com for a little Cowboys Overtime. We are going to talk Cowboys, and specifically one of the greatest Cowboys of all time attended last night's Game 3 of the NBA Finals, where he was part of a red carpet that looked more like a brown carpet. I mean, there's just nobody. There were no celebrities at the game last night. This series is struggling to get any kind of A-listers to the point where they're passing off, third string wide receivers from NFL teams as celebrities. But last night, Emmitt Smith was at the game, the all-time leading rusher in NFL history. Clarence, you had a chance to visit with Emmitt, a guy you've known for a long time, and he tells you that he thinks the success of the Dallas Mavericks is making up for the Dallas Cowboys' playoff failures. I say Emmitt's the greatest, and this argument stinks. No. There's nothing the Mavericks can do that can make up for the lack of success, playoff success of the Dallas Cowboys. They're the biggest game in town, and they keep laying eggs in January.
You're right. But Emmitt was. I think he had a couple of, and Neho tequila. He's a tequila guy. He was enjoying.
Do you have a tequila label? Everybody else has a tequila label.
Yeah, he has a tequila. His own tequila. Harold Duro is what Probably.
Do you have one yet? Do you have
Chill?
Do you have a tequila label yet? Everybody else has a tequila.
I don't. I'm working. Mine's gonna be some version of Crown. But anyway,
okay.
And I talked to Emmitt at halftime. He was happy. it's funny because Emmett was sitting next to Dirk and Steve Nash. That was Celebrity Row, and Patrick Mahomes was there. He was at minicamp, so he took the private jet to be here. He was at minicamp earlier today, but Emmett was happy. He was excited. He said, "I'm here. I want to be here because you have a chance to win a championship, and I'm all in for Mavericks, all in for the home team." And so you want to be over these moments. He's happy with the city. And he really root for the city. And he said, and certainly I thought and when I talked to him at the time, Mavericks were winning at halftime, and he thought that they would win this game, and everybody thought they would have a chance to win this game, especially with no Porzingis. And he was just excited about the Mavs, excited about what was happening. He said, the Mavericks, and he brought in the Rangers. They're kind of making up for the futility of the Cowboys because they're winning, and so he's feeling good, because it's been a bad stretch for the Cowboys. Emmett was on the Cowboys when they won 3 Super Bowl titles in the 1990s, and the Cowboys have not been back to even a championship game since 1996. And so it's been a long drought. And the Mavs, their success, they've been to the finals in 2006, certainly won in 2011, back in the finals in 2024. The Rangers won their first ever World Series last year. It's supposed to be a winner's town. The winners, the guys who are winning, guys are going deep in the postseason of everybody but the Cowboys. So if you're a Dallas fan, it's some consolation, but at the end of the day, nothing makes up for the Cowboys' failures because they are not just Dallas's team, Texas' team. They're America's team. They're on TV all the time. That's all everybody talks about. And so they got to finally get it done.
I was thinking about this last night. Since about the middle of May last year, so May of 23 today, however you want to cut it, this has truly been a great calendar year.
Yes.
May, June, whatever, mid-May to right now, that we've ever had. The Rangers, when the Stars got to the Western Conference Finals, they lost. Obviously, the Mavericks missed the playoffs last year, but the Stars get to the Western Conference Finals. The Rangers go on to win the World Series. The Cowboys had a great regular season.
And they go 12-5.
That's no small feat. I mean, that's a heck of a year. They obviously threw out a giant dud in the playoffs. Then the Mavericks go on this great run to the finals. The Stars get back to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, just in terms of excitement, important games, interesting games, people you can get behind, teams you can get behind, it's great. But you and I both know the standard is the standard, and the big guy in the room is the Dallas Cowboys. So
there's no question about it. Let me finish one thing before we move on. The atmosphere last night, leading that game. You talk about the atmosphere. I'm sure it was the same with the Stars. I mean, this city has embraced these franchises and these teams, and it was such an electric atmosphere last night. And
it's better. I think it's better for basketball, Clarence, because unlike the Stars in hockey, you can't really get closer, certainly not on the playing surface.
No.
I'm
just talking about the plaza leading into the game. It was good. It was, you love it. I like it. Like I said, I've covered the Cowboys since 1996, 97. They won 4 playoff wins. I've been in every Mavericks trip to the finals. And, so I'm not the jinx. I don't jinx the Mavs, okay? I don't jinx my daughter. She won a state championship, okay? I'm not the jinx, people.
That's important.
Was
she worried about that? I'm like, Dad,
it's just good. It's just good to see, man. Everybody, on board on the back and feeling good. So hopefully, the worm will turn for the Cowboys as we transition to the Cowboys or our final topic. It's rough. The Cowboys, obviously the storylines going into training camp. They got a month between now and training camp. And this is a season that is, and we talked a little bit about it last week, this is a season where everything is on the line. You got all the coaches who are on one-year deals. You got Dak, right now playing last year's contract. CD playing last year's contract. With no security beyond 2024. This is it. A lot of careers, a lot of legacies are going to be decided coming into this season. And you come into this offseason between now and training camp, and the biggest question is, are they going to get CeeDee Lamb done? Are they going to get Dak done?
Is CeeDee Lamb a bigger question than Dak Prescott?
Well, I think CeeDee Lamb is the one that's going to get done first.
Okay.
And it's a matter of when. They finally, Jerry was waiting for these leaves to fall, and the big oak tree fell.
I was going to say, it was like a damn forest.
It was like $35 million. I mean, 35.
It was like every tree in East Texas that we've ever driven by collapsed.
Yeah, so you looking for some trees to fall? Yeah, they fell, Jerry. Now, what you gonna do about it? So what are you gonna do about it?
The longest this has gone on of them not renegotiating Dak's contract for the longest time, I just thought they're going to get it done. They're going to redo it. They're going to redo it. But here we are, and it's June, whatever. Clarence, I'm beginning to think they might actually play the season out without redoing the deal and just kind of quietly nuke the whole thing and start over if they don't get the results they want with the staff and Dak Prescott as well. Am I wrong on that?
I just don't see Jerry nuking the whole thing. I mean, it's. I don't want to say Cowboy fans are spoiled or people are spoiled. There are many teams who would die for a quarterback that's never had a losing season that leads you to 12 wins every year. Certainly, they got things to do to get over the hump in the playoffs. But you're going to tell me because you're 12-5, you get to the playoffs, you'd rather blow it up and roll the dice on a unknown rookie quarterback we've seen, including one Trey Lance, where they traded 3 first-round picks, 49ers, to get him, and then they gave away for a 4th-round pick, and now the Cowboys are trying to see if he's as a future a backup quarterback. Looking at the whole draft class, there are no guarantees out there. You got a quarterback that you know you can win with.
Think about
your job is to get people around him to get them over the hump.
Well, think
and
about
you're going to tell me you're going to blow this up?
No, I mean, I think about Justin Fields. Think about Justin Fields, right? Think about Kenny Pickett. Think about a ton of guys.
Wilson, Jets. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks out there that the first-round picks that will fail. You got lucky. You nailed on a 4th-round pick. You got first-round picks that are just falling and failing. And I'm going to tell you, all the quarterbacks that were drafted this year, maybe 1 or 2 are going to hit. They're all not going to hit.
No way.
So that's ready to bet on unknown.
That's a month away. We have one more Dallas Mavericks game at least. That is game 4 on Friday night at the American Airlines Center. I'm going to get you on the record for a prediction.
Can they show some backbone? Will they get swept?
That they have not defeated. They have played the Boston Celtics 4 times this season, twice in the regular season, twice in the postseason, and 5 times. 5 times. They're 0-5. Do they get one win in this series?
It's a bad matchup. I just don't think they do. It's just clearly a bad matchup, and really for everybody's sake, because the inevitable is going to happen. We talked about the sounds of inevitability last week. It's going to happen. Don't make people have to fly back to Boston. don't make it. It's just like the same thing, man. Why you make people waste money on planes? Just save the people some money, man. Don't make people fly back to Boston. I think it will get ugly in Boston.
I think there are a lot of news organizations out there that really agree with you. Okay, this has been fun for all of your Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Cowboys coverage season. All other things as well. Be sure to check us out on StarTelegram.com. Thank you, Window Nation. Thank you, Clarence. See you next week.
Appreciate it.